What's
Y'all
going
here
on?
with the scenery? Y'all want me to change something or y'all good?
Are you good, bro?
Okay.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Space City Rottweilers podcast. I am your captain, your host, Mr. Corey.
Hello, what's up, you guys? Happy New Year. My name is Joanna.
What up, JoJo? How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, Corey? Happy New Year. How you feeling?
I saying to you, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It's our first episode of the new year, and it's a special one because we got a special guest today joining us. Man, this brother here probably has my favorite YouTube channel on YouTube, and not just specifically for Rottweilers or dog related thing, but just my favorite podcast, my favorite YouTube channel, just overall. I probably watch this dude channel 5 times a day. You know, I go back and watch videos that I hadn't watched in the past. He recently just dropped a documentary on a kennel that's based on Romania that he has a relationship with. I definitely recommend anyone to go check it out, the Agba Forest documentary. But we got today Mr. Mike Mongo from the Mike Mongo Music Channel,
Thank
also
you.
the FTD Rottweiler page, coming from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Roxbury, Massachusetts. What's
That's
up,
right.
brother?
Indeed. How you doing? Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for opening up your platform to me, and thank you for the support. You know, I'm happy to be here and talk Rottweiler. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
So,
Anytime.
so tell us a little bit about Roxbury, Massachusetts, man. I know they got some legendary stuff that came out of
Oh, yeah.
Roxbury.
Roxbury is it's like any other, um black community in an urban city. Well, I can't say Boston is an urban city. It's definitely not an urban city, but it has urban areas like Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, High Park. Um, these are kind of the areas where you're gonna have your biggest black communities. And I'm from Roxbury. Um, and I grew up in Academy Homes projects, and they tore down the projects, and my family and I, we moved to Grove Hall, which is kind of like at the end of Roxbury before you get to the beginning of Dorchester. And I grew up in Roxbury my whole life. And you did mention there's a lot of famous people who've come from Roxbury. Um, Malcolm X got his start in Roxbury even before he was Malcolm X. Everybody knows New Edition, Bobby Brown, and that whole thing. And just Boston in general is a lot of legendary things have come from Boston. You know, we kind of get overshadowed because when you're driving up 95 North, most people are not going to go past New York to go to Boston. So typically it's just we're pretty much on our own. We're the last East Coast city. We're the furthest northeast that you're gonna get, besides going to Maine. So that's where I'm from, born and raised. I love it. I miss home every day, but I have deep roots here in Atlanta, and I'm here in ATL now.
Yeah,
So,
I see you. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
you got it.
Yeah, I see you said you live in Atlanta right now. What made you make that move?
Music. I came down here. I bounced around from city to city a lot. I spent some time in New York. For a few weeks in wintertime, I was in Toronto, and ultimately, I wasn't trying to come to Atlanta. I was actually trying to go to LA. But when I was in Toronto, I kept seeing this at the time when like Yin Gang Twins was popping.
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris was doing it. Ludacris, one of my favorite MCs, and Luda was doing his thing. The independent music scene was just thriving here in Atlanta, and it still is. And I just kept seeing Atlanta on TV, and I was like, "What the heck is going on down there?" So when I came down here, I ended up staying for a while, and at the time when I was thinking about leaving is when I met my wife, and
Mm,
I ended up staying. 4
yeah.
kids, you know, years of marriage later, I'm still here. So, but you know, Atlanta has been good to me. You know, like I can't say anything bad about Atlanta as far as how Atlanta has treated me. You know, Atlanta is the type of city people say New York is like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Mhm.
Atlanta is definitely one of those cities. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere because the cost of living is slowly going up, but the salaries and pay rates aren't going up for a lot of people. you know. So, and you know, you going for a job, this might be 150 people going for that same job that you're going for. So luckily I've never had to deal with that. You know, I've built up enough connections and relationships with people where if I needed something, it was always just a phone call. And I always put good energy out there and I never burn bridges.
Right.
And people have always been receptive towards helping me. So Atlanta's been good to me.
Yeah, man, you definitely have that energy and that vibe of a good dude. So I can
Thank you.
see like, you know, the building relationships. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it seemed like it could come easy to a person like you, because just like how, you know, watching your videos and just how you are as a person. But
Thank
Atlanta, man, like the music industry in Atlanta is, to me, it's overshadowing what you know New York used to be, and like how New York was, you know, the mecca for like the
Yeah.
music industry and things of that such. But I feel like Atlanta has taken over that for sure, like within the past maybe even decade at this point. Because I mean,
Yeah, Atlanta has been doing this thing. You know, and speaking, is that a Dipset shirt you got on?
you already know.
Okay, all right. Put out the Harlem, Uptown.
Yeah,
Yeah, Atlanta actually has been doing this thing in the music scene for a long time. And I'm from Boston, but I'm very much so. I'm not an Atlanta native, but I'm ingrained with this city. You know, like I
yeah,
tell people all the time, like when you come to Atlanta, like you have to know people here. Like
right.
this isn't the type of like you have to build up some connections. A lot of people come here and you know they got this saying, you come for vacation, you leave on probation. You
Yeah,
know, this city right here is definitely a place where um the African American community, we're doing some positive things, but at the same time, there are some challenges here. And there's a lot of temptation here. So you can come here, you can get caught up in the wrong thing. But as far as the music scene, you take it all the way back to LaFace Records, you know, with LA Reid and Babyface and what they was doing here. And you know, the music scene from R&B to hip hop, and you know, you take it all the way back to what, you know, Big Oomp was doing on the independent circuit years ago when he had Big Oomp Records. Um, there has always been a strong independent scene, and that's what's attractive to me. I'm all about independence. I've never been about major labels. You know, like I love, you know, that's why, you know, I like Jay-Z a lot, is because, you know, he was selling CDs out his trunk, and then he, you know, grew into what he's doing now. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah. So I those are the type of stories that I like, and I relate to that a lot because nothing was handed to me. So that's what made Atlanta attractive to me. But you know, I wanted to go to LA because I like film, and
Okay.
I've always been intrigued with film. But I'm able to do some of that stuff here now in Atlanta, and we can talk about that. I want to, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jojo, you got anything?
Well, I know you talked about community and just building those that community around yourself. Because that's how it is in Atlanta, and that's something that we talk about here on the show. Is just you know helping one another and growing with one another.
Oh
Would you
yeah,
be able to tap in a little bit more with that as
yeah.
far as
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you, I'll use like my platform and Rottweiler vlogs, for example. You know, everybody knows. Well, let me take it back a little bit. My whole reason for getting involved with video production and doing videos and photos, graphic design, I did it because I didn't want nobody. I didn't want to hire anybody. I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to learn and do it myself. I'm all about independence.
Yeah,
And it took me a long time to learn. You know, I did like a lot of online schooling and some mentorship programs that I did one-on-one with some people here. It was a video store here that offered like a program that I did for like 8 weeks. It's closed now. It was closed before the pandemic. They went out of business, but I learned a lot from them. And I took the opportunity this year that everything was transferring online. All these different online courses started to pop up. I took an online course, but I was doing it because I wanted to offer something to people who really didn't have the knowledge or have the skill set that I had. And I started charging at first. And somebody pulled me to the side and told me, you know, maybe you shouldn't charge, you should do this, that, and the third. And that's kind of like the sense of community. Like I can get my money on the back end by other streams and other ways. You see what I'm saying? Like I may partner with YouTube and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, working with like-minded people who are on the same page and building up a sense of community and offering my resources that I have to people who might not have it, in my opinion, that's a way of building up the community. And there's a lot of people in Atlanta who are like that. Whether it be, oh, you don't got no money for studio time, here you can come. You know, when I get done recording my record, you can spend 30 minutes off my time. Like I know people who do that. Or like for here, I have a studio. We're sitting in my studio right now. It's kind of messy right now, but I have a full-fledged recording studio in my house. And I have artists who come in here and they record, and I don't charge them any money. You know, like the starving artist thing is a real thing. And to me, that's a sense of building community because like who's to know who somebody's gonna be? You know,
Right.
Rocco, when Rocco signed Future, people probably don't even know Rocco signed Future.
Yeah.
And you know, Future, he comes from the I think his cousin or his uncle was in a Dungeon family. He was a producer in the Dungeon or something like that.
Rico Wade.
Rico Wade, yeah. Anyway, Rocco saw something in him, signed him, and look at Future now. You know, like so you never know what somebody's gonna be. It takes somebody to see something in you. And I'm grateful and appreciative that within the Rottweiler community, the dog community now, because my channels can continue to grow. The energy that I put back is typically the energy that I get back, and the community supports me. I reach out to so many people asking when they want to do videos.
Yeah.
So if somebody reach out to me and like, hey, you want to do a video? I'm not gonna say no. Of course, yeah, let's do it. Sometimes I might forget who I'm talking to. I think that happened the other day. Actually, because I had something scheduled to do something, I forgot that I had scheduled with you first.
Yeah.
So I was trying to tell the other guy, "No, I can't do it because I got something else to do." But I thought it was mixed up. I had got confused, but yeah.
And I seen you talk about that particular scenario in one of your videos before about like on your come up, you know, reaching out to, you know, other breeders just to get information. And, you know, I went through that same struggle.
Yeah.
And that's, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little hesitant of reaching out to someone like you because that letdown, because I reached out to breeders in the past, not for this particular platform, but just to kind of like, you know, get a little bit more knowledge on, you know, setting up a kennel and things of that such. And, you know, I got, of course, the no response, but like you said in your video, and like I told myself, you know what I mean? You're going to see me eventually, whether it be I'm coming up and you coming down. But like, you said a lot, man, and we gonna try to dissect all of it. But bro, we have a lot of parallels, like things. Like I'm a music connoisseur. I marched in Southern University marching band, but I on like the music industry tip, by I don't want to say by trade, but by hobby, I'm a DJ.
Okay.
And like you know, it started off before I even got my equipment. I used to call myself a DJ because I used to take burning CDs. I used to approach it like I was, you know, actually mixing. Like I would put the songs in transition and like, you know, play it back and see how this song transitioned into the next song. But anyway, I eventually, you know, got my coins up a little bit and started DJing and doing parties at college, and started off doing like, you know, on campus apartment parties. And then I gradually did house parties. And then eventually I started getting into the club.
Nice.
But what I don't really care for is the politics of it all.
Yeah.
And like, I say politics, but sometimes it's mostly based off of who you know. And a lot of times when you go out or go to certain clubs, the DJ not even really a real DJ. He got a playlist, he's just playing, and he's only up there because he's the club promoter, a club manager, a club owner, cousin, friend, partner, or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you cringe because you feel like you can do a better job at, you know, at the task at hand, but like, you know, just that, I don't want to say kissing ass thing, because my grandma always told me if you kiss ass, you better be willing to eat shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to keep it clean, but that she just, you know, real like that. But just the whole playing of politics and coming up like that. But you know, finding ways to give back is cool. And I know like in the music industry, it's hard, and it's a lot of talent out there. and we all know that like the most talented person don't never necessarily get heard all the time just because of, you know, not wanting to sell themselves, or they want to keep their independence, or they don't want to attach a gimmick, you know what I mean, to who they are. So like what you do for, you know, the starving artists, that's amazing, bro. Cause, you know, I have friends who are also in the music, and, you know, I used to, you know, make beats and do beats as well. But, you know, I know that grind and I know that struggle, but it's kind of almost the same in the Rottweiler game.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. You know, when I first started off, I can tell you, I reached out to everybody who was big in Atlanta. I'm not gonna throw their names out there, but the only person that reached back to me was Atlanta House Rottweilers.
Mm.
That was the only person to reach back to me. And she had talked to me on the phone and gave me a little bit of insight. And that was it. That was the only time that I actually, in the Rottweiler community, anybody in the at that time had reached back to me. Now, you know, typically if I call somebody, if I reach out, they pick up the phone, they can't believe that I'm calling, or they can't believe that they you know, and I don't consider myself to be, I'm the same Mike Mongo that I was a long time ago. But you know, you'd be surprised. Well, not me, but other people might be surprised. You never know what somebody's going to turn out to be. You never know who you're talking to, and that's why I treat everybody the same. Like I don't make any differences. You know, like even in my if you go on my YouTube, I replied to 90% of all my comments. I always reply to everybody. If you taking the time to leave a comment, I'm going to reply back to you.
Yeah.
If you take the time to pick up the phone and call me, I'm going to try to call you back within 24 hours, or I'm going to text you back and let you know when I can get back to you. I feel like these little things is what help build a good community, a healthy community. It helps build, like, people feel comfortable. They want to come back and watch your content. They want to be more involved. They want to see you win, you know? Like, it's not just put the content out or say something and I just step away and just let you know.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of got to be there to not monitor, but steer everything in the right way. Make sure everything is growing and being created how I want it to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think the content is beneficial for the breed in itself, just because, you know, you're putting out good content and reaching out and, you know what I mean, talking to people who may have questions, or, you know what I mean, correcting some things, it'll benefit the breed. Because like myself, I'm sure like you, we're trying to better the Rottweiler breed, or keep the Rottweiler breed, you know what I mean, in good standing and good standard. And like, you know what I mean, if you putting out content but not seeing what people are saying, or even asking, how can we continue to move forward with, you know what I mean, you know, keeping the breed up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, it makes sense. You know, I say this, we're living in the American bully era. That's what it is right now. We're living in the American bully era, and the Rottweiler is a breed that has a firm, strong foundation that has been here for decades, years, and it's not going nowhere.
Right.
In the late 80s, early 90s, we saw a rise in popularity, and then, you know, we saw a strong dip down, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the popularity is coming back on a big scale. Like, you know, I'm seeing more and more Rottweiler content. I'm seeing more and more people who own Rottweilers, you know, people who say they want Rottweilers, you know, and I attribute a lot of that to, you know, the content that is being put out. You know, the internet is a powerful tool if used in the right way. And you know, I see a lot of American bully people who have kennels and they got Rottweilers in their yard.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't broadcast their Rottweilers, but I know numerous American bully people, you know, that they have Rottweilers in their yard.
It's their preferred dog, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, teaching people and educating people on the breed, the younger generation, you know, I hate to say that I'm a millennial, but I technically am. I technically am, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, for everything good that comes with that, you know, there is some stigmas around that. But for the most part, our generation of younger people, we have to know what happened in the late 80s, early 90s. We have to know what the breed went through. We have to know about health testing and you know, things that we can to keep the breed safe and preserve the breed and things like that. Because for it growing in popularity, you're gonna have people who still look at it as this vicious animal that it's, I guess, for lack of a better term or phrase, known to be. But we know it to not be like that. We know the dog to be loving, family, gentle, and protective by nature when it needs to be. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's our job to make sure that we put that image out there, and you know, always try to have my children in the videos, or is, you know, every other video, not every video, but you know, you see them running around, and they running around with dogs that they might meet for the first time.
Right.
That should show people like, oh, you know, his kid ain't never seen this dog. He's running around with the ball, playing with the dog. He got 2 intact males running around with a ball. The dogs ain't fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like those type of images, subconsciously, I want people to think about.
Right.
Some people get it, some people might not get it. They just, oh, 2 cute Rottweilers running around playing with a kid. But people who's into the breed, me, you know, we looking at it like, yo, I know them dogs, one of them dogs get that ball, the other one's going at it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know, we just got to keep doing what we do.
When did you get your first Rottweiler, Mike?
When I moved to Georgia. Her name was Remy. When I moved to Georgia, that was on my checklist. Apartment, check. Rottweiler, I'm in the. It happened so fast.
Yeah.
It was almost immediate. Like, I moved to Georgia, and I got a townhome in Stone Mountain, and probably like my first month and a half or 2 months of me being here, I met a producer. His name's B Dunn. I was at a club because I used to go out all the time just networking. I'm very good at networking and talking to people. I'm not a shy person at all. And I pick up on people's vibe and energy. But anyway, I met Dunn. He was on stage. He was on a beat battle. And I liked his beats. He's from Baltimore. His beat was just, oh my gosh. Like, matter of fact, he's on my first and second album, B Dunn. And anyway, me and him, man, we hit it off. We're still close friends to this day, but he don't like dogs. Dunn does not like dogs. But at the time, I didn't have a car. That was a culture shock for me when I did move to Atlanta, you know, because living in the city, we took the subway everywhere. So I didn't have a car. But I really wanted this dog, and he drove me East Georgia on 20 someplace. I forgot where it was, but it was a long drive to go get this Rottweiler puppy. And I was just so excited just to have her. And she was nothing special as far as pedigree, nothing like that, but she was mine, and I was happy with her. And you know, she died of parvo, like when she was probably like a year and a half, and I didn't even know what parvo was. Like, I just everything was new to me. I just wanted a Rottweiler. That was it. And she was my first Rottweiler, and after that, I didn't have a Rottweiler for a little while after that. Not until I met my wife is when I got another Rottweiler. So
now I saw you call them dark Rottweilers.
Yes.
Different, they're rare.
Yes. So the darker Rottweiler, they also call like on a Rottweiler's paws. On you know, the markings are supposed to be pronounced. You're supposed to be able to see the markings and stuff. If you see darker markings on the paws or on the face, chest, they call that muddy or sooty. So in the 90s, my father was he had a lot of friends on the police in the police force, Boston police, and they used to go play basketball all the time. He had this buddy named Dion. And my father drove trains. He drove for the MBTA in Boston, the Red Line, and the Orange Line, I think. But he had a buddy named Dion who had this amazingly trained Rottweiler named Prince. And Prince would turn it on, like bite work, turn it on, and then he could turn it off and be like, you know, loving, gentle, all this other stuff. But Prince was dark. That's what I remember about him. He was just super, super dark. He was the first Rottweiler I ever seen in my life. And this had to be like 92, 93. Like, this was a long time ago. And you know, Dion used to let us take Prince, and we got these mountains in Boston. We got mountains everywhere, you know, in Boston. Well, not everywhere, but you know, in New England, right? There's, you know, New Hampshire, there's Maine, there's Vermont. You know, New England is a big region, and there's mountains everywhere. But we used to take Prince and go to the mountain and just let him off and let him run. And he used to just go with me and my father, and Dion wasn't there, and he wouldn't act any different, you know. But like, he was just that trained. I was just so impressed by Dion. I mean, by Prince. So I knew when I got older that that was the dog that I wanted to own a Rottweiler. And my uncle and my aunt, they're Marines. And when my uncle Joseph got back from Okinawa and he moved to Cali, he bought a Rottweiler named Zoe, and he used to bring the Rottweiler from Cali to Boston when he used to come visit. So that was like my second interaction with the Rottweiler, was his Rottweiler Zoe. And I knew, I already knew, I had it made up in my mind that I was going to get a Rottweiler. It was no ifs, ands, buts about it. So.
Because I saw you said it's that the dark Rottweilers, they're not as revered as the one with the tan paws.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like at the shows, why is that?
No, because it's not the standard. It's a fault. Um. So. Each breed has a written standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
The, you know, the tail set's supposed to be set a certain way. The top line is supposed to be, you know, like an iron board top line. The ears are supposed to be set a certain way. No pink gums, black lips, like all these different things. The Rottweiler is supposed to have tan markings. That's just it. That's the written standard. And the thing about that is, every dog, there's no such thing as a perfect dog. You can breed to having that perfect standard and representing that dog in the conformation, in a show ring conformation show, right? That's what everybody's competing against. Like my dogs, you know, each handler is trying to hide the dog's faults, because every dog has a fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're trying to hide the faults. It's hard to hide a sooty dog because he's dark. People gonna see it.
Right.
In my opinion, I just find it beautiful. I love just a darker dog. Is it correct? No. Can you still breed it? Yes, you can. Because there are dogs that are being produced, in my opinion, that are too light. Well, how you gonna darken it up? You're gonna need a dog like Batman to introduce into your program to kind of darken it up a little bit, because you can't get a dog that's too light. You know, Batman has dark eyes, he has a dark mouth, he has dark lips, iron board top line, he has a short back. You know, just he has so many things about him that's correct, and so many things that are right. He has a great stop on his head, muzzle, like just so many things about him is right. And you know, I didn't give him the quote unquote phrase the most beautiful. That came from Simona from Rock Force Kennel. She gave him that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that he is that. But he is dark and he is sooty. But people love him. So
now, do you know who created the standard, and do you feel like the standard may be somewhat outdated? And I want you to be careful with that, because I want to later on get into some of the different things that I'm seeing with the Rottweiler breed. But like with the original question, do you think the standard is outdated or it needs to be changed?
no.
No.
I think the standard is in place. The standard is the standard. You know, I think that the biggest gripe that we have nowadays with our breed is the tail. Do we dock or do we not dock?
Mm-hmm.
That's our biggest beef. Because in Europe,
they don't do it. They don't dock.
Well, in Europe, they won't accept if we have a AKC show dog that has been tearing it up in the ring out here, and we want to go show our dog in Europe, they won't let our dog show because the tail is docked. But we'll let a dog from Europe that has a tail come show AKC. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's some division in our Rottweiler community when it comes to that. But the standard, I have no problem with the standard. The standard is in place, and I think that you know, AKC is progressive because they allow tail dogs to be in AKC show rings and things like that. So that part, I like it. I can take a dark tail dog or a dog that has a tail. It doesn't matter to me.
You don't have a preference.
I just want I want the dark to be right. You know.
Yeah.
I want I don't want no long dark on the tail. And you know, a lot of people, you know, I have a buddy named Ethan Graybill, and I filmed his kennel a lot, and he's giving me a lot of insight and a lot of game on the Rottweiler breed. And you know, he flies all over the country and he docks tails. This is one of the things that he does. You know, like it's a skill.
Yeah.
It's not something that, you know, you can just take the dog to the vet and just get the tail dog. No, you get one time to get it right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, and that's some game for anybody who's watching this. Like, you know, you want to get your dog's tails docked the correct way. Find somebody who actually knows what they're doing. But no, I have no problem with this, and I have respect for the standard.
Yeah, because I've seen somewhere, you know, with the docking, it's like a little elbow, a little nub, or they dock basically to the dog's butt, and you see no tail. So I definitely know people out there doing it incorrectly, because before I got my first Rottweiler, or when I got my first Rottweiler, before I started breeding, you know, the old school cats around the neighborhood, oh man, I know how to do that. Just put a rubber band on it and it's going to eventually fall off and things of that such. And, you know, it's a lot of those myths and stuff that, you know, people pass on about Rottweilers, and a lot of times people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like the standard is there for a reason, and it should be in place. I kind of look at it almost like HOA, homeowners association. It kind of keep things in line, because I feel like if it wasn't any standard, man, we probably have red-nosed Rottweilers or God knows what people would do. Because
absolutely.
With that American bully breed, I see a lot of people playing Frankenstein. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would hate to see that in the Rottweiler breed, because I've been around Rottweilers pretty much since the 90s. I was born in 89. I think my dad had our first Rottweiler maybe 90, 91, 92. Whenever it had to have been after the movie Poetic Justice came out, because we named the dog Justice. So like, I knew at that point, whenever I got a dog to be mine, I wanted a Rottweiler. I done been around other dogs and other breeds, but like how you knew when you saw Prince, like, yeah, I'm gonna get a Rottweiler. When we had Justice, I had it in my mind, like, yeah, Rottweiler is it. Whenever I can get my own dog, and like the phase of Rottweiler, like you said, it faded out. I feel like around the 2000s, because it started out with the pit bull. And then it transitioned into the bully breed, because I was a little absent when it came to, you know, keeping up with the Rottweiler, because, you know, I wasn't of age to even own it, or, you know, knowing how to take care of a Rottweiler. But like now, I try to look for what I remember what the Rottweiler looked like back then. And I know initially with the tail, you kind of get drawn back, because, you know, I didn't see any Rottweilers with tails back in the day.
Yeah, no, you didn't. And you know, let me tell you how the tail grew on me. The tail grew on me when I started learning about importing, because I wasn't trying to import. You know, I wasn't even trying to get Batman. I mean, you probably seen The Most Beautiful, you know that story, but I wasn't even trying to get him. Like, I was just essentially just trying to get a quality dog. And I knew what I was looking for, as far as, you know, I was looking for a darker dog. And at the time, around my area where I live at, you know, Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, I didn't see any Rottweilers with a tail. I just didn't. So it never occurred to me that there was Rottweilers with tails. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't until, I started looking at these bigger kennels who was importing, and then somebody saying they imported a dog was like, oh, to me, like, what? You imported a dog? Like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so foreign and new to me.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this rap guy, this producer, you're trying to get involved with dogs. I don't know nothing. Everything is like amazing to me. You got a dog from this place, you got a dog from this. I think this is like a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And I shied away from even wanting to attempt to do it because I just thought it was something that you needed a contact, you needed to know somebody. I didn't know anything about the process. So I really just leaned towards people who had more knowledge than me at the time to kind of like guide me. And I eventually met my buddy Tim Rucker, and yeah, that's kind of how the ball started rolling from there.
Yeah. And see, I never knew about the importing because people always loosely throw around, oh, German Rottweiler. So I automatically thought, oh, you just getting the dog from Germany or whatever. But
Yeah. I made that mistake.
Yeah.
I definitely made that mistake. Like one of my early videos when I first got my my dog Micha, she was my first big purchase. If you watch that video when I went to Von Reed's kennel, I called all of those dogs German imports.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I was very green. I didn't know because the same thing what you said. I'm thinking, oh, it's a German breed. They're all coming from Germany. That's what I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't until after the fact that I watched the video that Wayman was like, oh, nah, they come from Romania and this dog came from Russia. I'm like, for real? I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's what I'm learning too. Like most of my knowledge, I'm really getting from Corey, but then stuff is popping up on my feed and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. And then taking it back to you called it docking. Like, where did that come from? How did that start? Like, I know you said originally you never saw a tail on a dog, on a Rottweiler. So what's the difference, or why would people want to do that as far as their tail?
I think that the docking of the Rottweiler's tail started because they used to pull carts, and the tail would get in the way when they was pulling the carts. So they started docking the tails. Well, advances in modern technology, science, whatever the case may be, everybody's driving cars now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not really pulling carts anymore, so there's no need for them to, dock the tails. So they, Rotties are getting their tails back. But I think there's also a fine line where you have people who feel like cropping and docking is inhumane, right? Like they feel like it's a cruel thing to do to a dog, But traditionally, if you look at the Cane Corso, I'm not sure that there's always something you say Cane Corso.
Yeah,
Cane
Corso.
Yeah, like I don't want those people. You saying it wrong. Okay, it's not my breed. The Doberman, they crop ears. They dock tails. Traditionally, this is what this breed has looked like, right? This is what people have fallen in love with the look of the breed. And on my latest video that I did, I talked to Gerald Antoine about this because he's a Doberman guy and he likes Dobermans and Rottweilers. And he brought up a good point. He said, we still circumcise, right? So we still circumcise. We doing it for what? A look. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Some health things, cleanliness and stuff like that. It's the same thing with a Doberman. A Doberman's ear is long and flappy. They probably say a little bit cleaner with them cropped like that. And we're doing it for a look. Circumcision is something that's traditional. Same thing with cropping and docking of certain breeds. It's been tradition. We still practice it widely today. A few years ago, I hate to bring this up, but I will. Omarion on I remember there's a big thing on Love and Hip Hop where
yeah.
his son was circumcised, but he was an adult who wasn't circumcised, and he went and got circumcised.
Who, Omarion?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, I mean,
ooh, wait, I know that hurt.
But like, what's his reason for doing it?
Right.
Doing it for the look? You all these years you wasn't circumcised, but now you want to do it. So like, I'm not comparing him to a dog or nothing like that. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain traditions and practices that we have been doing for years, right? And I get all of these, people with, PETA and these different, animal rights groups and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But you still wear a leather belt. Leather comes from cows.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
You sit on a leather couch, you got, leather shoes on your feet. I got my Timbs with the leather, with the leather, so like these things, sheepskin, like these things that animals have been in place. And I'm not trying to go on a tangent about it, but like some things are right. Some things are just what we do. I'm not, beating a dog or not caring about the welfare of my animals. I'm taking care of my animals, but traditions are traditions and they've been in place for a long time. Why change it now?
Right.
Okay.
And it's really just a preference thing because it really doesn't matter if the dog tell his doctor or not. It doesn't really compromise the dog.
Yeah.
I think I heard in Europe, they just kind of view it as animal cruelty. And we just kind of just do it for like the look, but it really doesn't hurt the dog. You know what I mean? In a sense. But I don't know, man. It's just hard when you get different people with different opinions, and it'll never be right. You know what I mean? If everybody has a say so on it,
Yeah.
But some people feel some type of way about keeping dew claws or keeping the dew claws on the back paws or the front paws or something like that. Some people just get rid of the dew claws all in total. So it's just always about the preference, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I respect everybody's opinion. And whatever, I'll put it like this. I'm not one to try to tell somebody what to do. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't want anybody trying to tell me what to do. Right. But if I ask you your opinion, that means that I value your advice.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if somebody asks me my opinion, then I would hope that they would value my advice and they would take heed to what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I could bring something up as simple as people ask me this question. This is the most requested question that I get. What do I feed my dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Before I answer the question, I tell them what I feed might not work for you.
Right.
My routine might not work for you. You see what I'm saying? But I will tell you. You see what I'm saying? So what I like doesn't necessarily have to be what you like or what you do or what you decide to pursue. You see what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't like a darker dog. Mm-hmm. Like when I first got Batman, man, they held my feet to the fire about posting pictures of a dog Rottweiler puppy. What is this? Like there's one in every litter. But those same people were like, in my inbox, like trying to buy him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Secretly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was never shy or scared about saying what I like. Never. You either gonna rock with it and love it or you're not. And I mean, it is what it is.
How long did it take you to get comfortable with importing? Because I know you said you didn't want no part of it.
I've imported a lot of dogs now. Probably after my first time. Because I imported 4 dogs at one time. Mm. So I imported Batman's sister and his brother, and Harley, who I have now. I have Batman and Harley. They in here somewhere. I'm in the studio. Batman's sister is in Alabama with Wayman Reeves. Batman's brother Major is in Gainesville, Georgia with Tim Rucker. And going through that process was interesting. Us 3, we had collabed and did it together. and Wayman just schooled me through the process. You know, we put everything in my name, and he just schooled me, told me what I needed to do. He was kind of like, he was my sounding board because he had did it. He was schooling me, like teaching me how to do it. And I had Akbar Force on the other end who was helping me as well. And after that time, that first time, I got it. I had it down pat.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard of importing, but I got a little bit more detail from the Akbar Force documentary and just the process. And you know, some people, you know, that might be a turn off because you know nobody's a perfect breed or a perfect person, and you know they might want to be lazy and have someone else do all that work, and they just get you know offspring of the import. So you know that's why I
Yeah.
want to know, like how long it took you to get comfortable with it, because I mean you might have went through the importing process and you didn't like it because it was too time consuming or it was just you know a little bit too much trying to get through customs
Yeah.
or things of that sort.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this is the most challenging part about importing is this.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
No, you good. The most challenging part about importing is this. You're building a connection with the dog because you see pictures, videos, you posting about the dog, but the dog don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So when the dog gets here, you're happy, you're excited, and a lot of times that he had a long trip, been in the kennel, whoop-de-whoop, strange sounds, new smells, new language, whatever the case may be, and he might be a little bit shy. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna take him a second to come out of the show. That's the most challenging part because it's going to take him probably like 90 days for him to be your dog. He's your dog technically because you own him, but he don't know you. She doesn't know you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So in my opinion, that's the most challenging part. People who I help import, I always provide them support after the fact, what they can do, how can they help get the dog acclimated with their lifestyle? You know, how can they get the dog more comfortable, building confidence? You know, first 30, 60, 90 days, that's a crucial time for you to bond with your dog. Don't try to put too much discipline on the dog, especially if it's a young puppy, you know, 15 minutes a day, but really play. You see what I'm saying? Have a good time. Let your dog know that when they see you, that they need to get happy because good things are going to come.
Right.
They're always discipline. That's what I messed up with Batman when I first got him. You know, the first 2 days that I had him, he was very, very like the Batman that you guys see now is not how he was. I'm telling you right now. He was very reserved. He didn't fool with me. And I talked about this in the video before, but it took me a long time to bring him out of his shell because like he just was naturally standoffish, you know, like he didn't rock with me. Now he's glued to my hip. I can't go nowhere without, you know, he goes everywhere with me. If I go to the grocery store, he's with me. You know, he goes everywhere with me.
How did you get him to break out of that shell? And like, what type of activities did you do with him?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, did you adjust to him or he adjusted to you?
I adjusted to him. That's what I had to do. I had to adjust to him. Batman has strong ball drive. Like he'll die for a ball or toys and stuff. And I noticed he would be different when I pulled out a ball.
Yeah.
So we started playing a lot. We just started playing. That's all it was. And after he was so tired from playing, then I could work on a little bit of sit down, stay. You see what I'm saying? And give him affection when he would do what I wanted him to do. Versus me going straight when he, you know, is already standoffish from me. He's already tensed up, trying to teach him how to do stuff. I would have to exercise him, get him tired, and then get him in a relaxed state before I can do 15 minutes of obedience with him and stuff like that. And then the biggest thing that I did was I used to tie him to the end of my bed every night. Wow. And I'll make him sleep next to my bed. And that's what really probably brought us closer because he didn't spend any time away from me. He knew that you know, he belonged to me because he's the only boy I had. Everybody else was females.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know, and typically, you know, the males usually bond more with the woman leader in your pack, and the females, you know, the opposite sex thing, right?
Yeah.
But with Batman, he was so special, and I knew that I had to make it work. I had to before I started really putting him out there and doing, you know, like I said, I've talked about it so many times and I've lived through it. That's why I can give people advice on it. And it turned out great, you know. Probably like right before I did the first documentary, The Most Beautiful, is when I started to see a change in him. That he was just, you know, he'll go out in public and he'll be, you know, dressed up, confident, you know, like the Batman that we see now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's when I know, okay, he's arrived, he's here now. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It ain't nothing like that confidence, man.
Yeah.
Man, but how tired were you trying to tire out a Rottweiler? Because I know they can go for a long time, man. They
Yeah.
they got a lot of energy.
Yeah. No, I was definitely tired, man. I'm trying to tell you. I used to wake up like twice throughout the night. Because I have 5 Rottweilers at the time. You know, right now I have 8 dogs right now. So it was a lot, and all of them were like around the same age, you know. But Batman was the only one who really gave me an issue. So I could spend less time with the other ones because they picking up on it quick.
Right.
He was so like, I ain't rocking with you like that. Like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? That was him.
You think that's because he was an import?
Nah, because Harley's an import, and
yeah. You got
Harley's an import. Diora's an import. They was good. I think that's just his personality.
Right.
That was him. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for me, when I first got him, like, well, we're gonna be best friends.
Yeah.
Because I had 2.5 months, I'm just looking at pictures and video of him. You see what I'm saying? Before I even met him. So I built up a love and a bond with him already. So when I got him, and I was like, oh, this is how you are? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Let down.
Yeah. So like, that's like, oh, we gotta put in some work, you know?
Yeah.
And had I not had so much love for him, you know, I probably would have like, it probably would have been different. Like, this ain't what I expected. This ain't what I want. And for some people, it might be like that.
Yeah.
But his look was everything that I ever wanted in a dog. You know what I'm saying? Going back to Prince and more. So I was motivated to put in the work. I was motivated to make it work. And it shows today. You know, like whenever I come home, like they know when I'm home because he get the like he just like he don't let me out of sight. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like a child.
Yeah.
Another child.
And when people come over, of course everybody want to see him. That's definitely what I'm seeing. He just is loving with everybody else as he is with me.
He's sucking up all that attention, all that love.
Yeah.
Because I know with all the misconceptions that Rottweilers have, people don't understand that these dogs are very smart and intelligent, man. I give them a nickname, student athlete, because on the athlete side, when you just, you know what I mean, you see a Rottweiler, you see that size, that confidence and that look. But the student side, people don't know that brain is just as big and probably working even harder than, you know what I mean, them building up a nice tone, a nice look. Rottweilers are very smart. And I feel like people don't know that and they look past that because they see, you know, all the stuff in the media, the bad publicity. And I mean, your dog is what you make it. And like you said, if it weren't for you being dedicated, putting that work in, Batman wouldn't be the Batman who he is today.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very intelligent. You know, that's what you want in a dog, especially a working dog. You know, their intelligence, you know, it kind of their intelligence kind of can make them manipulate you if you're not smart.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so because they know what they can get away with, they know what you're gonna pay attention to.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
They gonna try you for sure.
Yeah. So like you have to be on your P's and Q's, and you have to be a firm pack leader to lead this breed, to own this breed, and also to be able to teach this breed. I mean, teach other people about the breed. You know, um, my last client that I had to go do some training with, I flew to Chicago. This was a month ago now, when I did the Chicago episode actually. So I had 2 clients I had to go see up there. Anyway, she was having an issue with her dog, and the dog basically is outsmarting them. That's basically it. You see what I'm saying? Like the dog would get a toy, and he wouldn't give the toy back. Like he'll be running around the house like trying to get the toy. So when I get to their house, I don't step inside the house. I have them bring the dog outside, and I just walk with them. Build a relationship with them before I start doing anything. And I know within 5 minutes of meeting a Rottweiler how's your temperament, what type of temperature you're gonna be on. He's not aggressive. He's playful. Just a normal Rottweiler, all the characteristics of a Rottweiler that you see. But he's smart to know that there's a house full of women, that these women in this house aren't leading. So he's stepping in and he's being the leader. So he's doing what he wants. And that's what I had to step in and tell him, like, yo, he's not the problem. I have to train you. That way you can teach and coach and train him. See what I'm saying? So I had to show them what to do. That way they can keep him in check, and then he'll know what to do, because you have to set rules, boundaries, and limitations. You see what I'm saying? Right. You can't let him have access to your whole house, and you open up the door, he's bolting out the door, and you trying to put on a leash, he's not sitting. It's like these type of things. And there were other breeds who have the same kind of characteristics of a Rottweiler that aren't technically good for first-time dog owners, because you don't know what you're getting into. Right. You see what I'm saying? Versus like you buying a French bulldog, a lap dog, that's gonna, just kind of be chill, or a bulldog, kind of low energy, not really gonna be, not calling them stupid or nothing like that, but like it's not gonna possess the ability to kind of figure things out in the environment that it's in, like a Rottweiler will. You see what I'm saying? Right. It's gonna check the temperature of the room, be like, oh, okay, y'all doing that, I'm gonna do this. You see what I'm saying? Or I can get away with this. Like little subtle things. A Rottweiler coming in, trying to sit on your feet. That's dominance. Respect my space, back up. You see what I'm saying? But like some people, they like, oh, that's cute. And you patting on the dog, you're encouraging the behavior. That's what you're doing. Right. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, they're very smart and they know what they can get away with. And if you give them an inch, they're gonna take a mile.
Is that the same thing, like how a Rottweiler come and just kind of lean on you and put all their weight? Is that kind of like the same thing that you referring to, like sitting on your feet?
That's a little bit different, because that's what they did when they was more, because Rottweilers are
herding dogs.
Just a herd, yeah. So that was something they did when they was herding. Okay. Now I think it's just kind of so programmed in their genetic makeup that it's become like an affection thing a little bit, because all my dogs do it. Every last one of them do that. Like if I'm petting them, it's like relax and they get that lean. Next thing you know, they're laying on their back, and you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what more it is nowadays.
It's crazy, because I had only one of my Rottweilers that I purchased, and he was my first Rottweiler. And of course, my first Rottweiler story is like everybody else's first Rottweiler. I thought it was going to be the best one. But anyway, he was the first one, or the only one, that I actually seen do the herding thing. I mean, like clockwork. Anytime that I let him out in the morning, whatever, he's gonna take a lap around the yard. And I thought that was so amazing because I had never seen a Rottweiler do that. Like literally, he gonna do a circle, a lap around the yard, maybe even two. Or like if we're playing and he excited, and I say, "Go boy," he just gonna take off and do a lap. So like I didn't know about the herding aspect to Rottweilers, in the past. But it took me, start deep diving and learning a little bit more about the breed.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about it either. I can't even think of anybody who really told me anything about it.
Yeah.
I did see a video on it might have been Animal Planet, or there was an episode where this Rottweiler had went into like this little cattle thing, and they might have mentioned it on there. But as a matter of fact, Documentary TV, Zeke, he actually did an episode where he was talking about it, I believe. But that was the only time that I can think of.
What would you say is probably like the biggest lesson that you learned so far while breeding Rottweilers?
The biggest lesson, well, I'll say this. I think a lot of people think that I'm like this big breeder, and I'm not. And my goal isn't to be my goal isn't to be the biggest breeder, and that's not what I'm about. I'm happy if I have one litter a year. I'm cool with that. I'm happy if I have no litters. I'm fine with that. Breeding is a lot of work. More importantly, finding homes for dogs is a lot of work. There are people who make a living off breeding. I don't know how, because this isn't the type of thing where you ain't getting rich quick. Or you're gonna spend money health testing, going to the vet, feeding the dogs. You see what I'm saying? My dog, I have 4 kids, and then I have 8 4-legged kids.
Whew.
That's basically what I have. You see what I'm saying? They're my pets. You see what I'm saying? They're extensions of my family. They all have personalities. So, people always ask me about, breeding. I used to think that I wanted to be, a big time dog breeder and stuff like that. And I'm slowly more and more getting away from that. More so what I want to do now than anything is just preserve Batman. Like years from now when he's 10 years old, God willing that I have him healthy and he lives that long, which we're planning for.
Yeah.
That I can look back and see like 3 or 4 of his children, and I can own one myself. That's what I want,
Okay.
And that people who have been waiting, because I have a waiting list. People, I don't take any deposits. I don't take no money from nobody. I don't take any money. If people call me and say, "Hey, I want to get a dog from you," I'll be like, "Okay, I'll put you on the list." And they be like, "How many people you got on the list?" Right now, I probably got like 23, 24 people. I don't have a long list, right? It could be a long list if I'm not producing a whole lot of litters, yes. But I always tell people, Batman does stud. Like he has a litter that's supposed to like drop today, actually. Raymond Reeves, his female, is supposed to be giving birth today. That's a Batman litter. And I always tell people, you can have an offspring from Batman from somebody else. And that's great. Buying a dog from Wayman is like buying a dog from me.
Right.
But you have people who, say, "No, I want to buy a dog from you. I want to get it for you." They're willing to wait. So we'll see how time goes on if I turn into wanting to do this whole breeding thing full fledged and all that, right? Maybe we'll see. But what I have learned is the importance of health testing that I did not know. To answer your question, I didn't know that you can't just take 2 dogs that I'm gonna back it up. Before I started breeding, I thought health testing was you bring a dog to the vet and they get the shots, and that's what I thought health testing was. Yeah, he's healthy. It's good.
Same here.
See what I'm saying? That's what I thought. But health testing is, hips, elbows, heart, eyes, and all of Batman, he has his health testing and stuff done. So that's something that I have learned, and that's important with what we talked about earlier with preserving the breed.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and to me, I ask people message me all the time. They say they want to get into breeding. So I say like, oh, why you want to get into breeding? And I have yet to hear somebody say because they want to put the Rottweiler first.
Mm.
Good breeder, in my opinion, you put the breed first.
Right.
So if you put the breed first, that means you're going to do everything right by the breed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how I operate. Like, I've had females who was in heat. I didn't breed them to Batman. I skipped, I didn't, just because I got them in heat don't mean I'm gonna, I'm not rich by any means, but I'm comfortable. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'd rather let's go for that corporate money. Let's get that Animal Planet money, that Nat Geo money. Let's get that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need to, I don't need to,
Abuse your dog.
pit my dog out, and try to have 19 litters a year. That's not really my MO. For people who do that, I don't knock you.
Yeah.
Just do it right. Just do the right thing.
Right. And is that what they would call overbreeding? Is that the definition of overbreeding? People pimping their dog or trying to have 19 in 1 year?
I don't know. If you got 17 females, 15 females, they come in the heat twice a year.
Yeah.
You got a few studs. I mean, I don't know. Like, and you got enough space and you got enough help and you're doing everything right. You finding good quality homes. There are people, not just with the Rottweiler breed, but other breeds who are doing that. Um, but like I said, when nobody can say that they seen me, promoting personal litters of my own.
Mm.
You can't like, I have like old stuff from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's far and few in between. And truth be told, I think that makes what I do that much more special. Because the less people who say that they own something from me, it puts more value on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I got something from Mike Mongo. For where you get that at? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna keep doing what I do and staying low key.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, quality, because it took me to learn through trial and error. And I hate that it took me to do that, but sometimes it's hard to get information out of people who's already been doing it. It's almost like pulling.
Oh yeah.
So I had to learn, because I literally just made a video about the health testing. I didn't know nothing about it. Just like how you said, I thought it just keep your dogs up to date on their shots, keep the rabies and all that, healthy dog. I didn't know anything about OFA, hip dysplasia, elbow dysplasia, the cardio stuff, the eyes. I think the only encounter with eyes I ever had was with it was a Shih Tzu. I think the wrinkle dog. And they get the little pink
cherry
stuff,
eye.
the little pink stuff in their eyes. That was the only thing I knew about anything with eyes. I didn't know Rottweilers, you have to, make sure that the skin doesn't overlap the eyelid, basically a big eyelid or stuff like that. But learning through trial and error, I hate that I had to do that, because it's almost like I put my dogs in jeopardy. But I'm glad I did gain that knowledge, because like you said, preserving your dogs and not, not killing the dog. Because it's almost like how in Europe they view the docking tails as being inhumane. I feel like just breeding your dog just to make a quick dollar, that's inhumane in itself. And that's not what you should want out of it. Excuse me again, I'm gonna have to get that together. I don't know how to turn that off. But preserving your dog and just overdoing it. I feel like you're hurting your dog more, or you're hurting yourself too, because if you out there putting out bad puppies and puppies are dying, people gonna the word gonna get around, and that's just for the people who out there trying to make a quick dollar out of the dog. I didn't necessarily get into breeding Rottweilers to breed. I look at it like this. I was gonna do it eventually anyway because I was gonna have me some Rottweilers. But I didn't know anything about kennels and breeding. I thought it's just you get a male, you get a female, you put them together and they have puppies. And okay, I'm breeding. You know what I mean? But I was gonna have Rottweilers regardless. So I just decided to, do breedings every now and then. But like right now, I'm still at a learning stage because I'm only 2 years into this. And like right now, the dogs that I have, we're all here at my house. I purchased land and purchased property for my dogs so they can have the proper facility, the proper, room and space to, train and exercise and things of that such. So, I've done litters in the past, 2 litters, and I just did it from a learning base just to learn and see what all it entails. And boy, is it a lot, you know what I mean? But I don't see how people, how you say, try to make a living off of it, because it's a lot, man, and it's not a quick dollar. But like, just like I'm a hands-on learner. I learn from in the field, so reading books and all that stuff, this stuff is cool. But until I actually put my hands on it, I really don't grasp it. But that health testing is vital. You know what I mean? Not just for on the breeding aspect, so you can have a healthy dog, because there's nothing like losing a dog. And I think I had reached out to you after you dropped the Akbar Force documentary with Mr. Wayman Reeves when he was talking about Samson. Man, that probably was the most touching part of the whole documentary for me, because in October we just had to go through the same situation with our lifelong family Rottweiler. He died, or he had put to sleep 4 years before his 11th birthday. You know what I mean? We was grateful to have him alive for that long, but just going through that, and then even last year.
That's still young. 4, that's still young.
Yeah. No. He was 10 going on 11. He died
10
years,
going on 11. Okay.
Before his 11th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I lost a litter, an entire litter of puppies, and come to find out, mom had not did health testing because I didn't know nothing about it, but she ended up having some type of heart condition. I haven't taken her to a cardiologist yet, but my vet, they saw something and they recommended me to not breed her anymore. So, I had to remove her from the actual breeding program, but, she's still here. But, things like that, I hate that I had to learn that way, but I learned, so I can't make that same mistake again.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, as long as you learn, you know better, you do better, right?
Right.
I made a plethora of mistakes. So many mistakes that I have done, but I learn and I do better, right? Yeah. And the first thing is acknowledging it. You acknowledge it, you do better. So I commend you for that, because you recognize it, and then you move forward and you progress and you do things the right way. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Nobody is perfect. Like so many people, these big breeders, and they try to put out the best image, the most perfect image. That's one thing about the internet. You can create whatever you want. Right. You see what I'm saying? You can you can put out the best version of yourself. You see what I'm saying? You can put it out online. You can put it out on YouTube, Instagram, and Instagram is the biggest. I think that I can't stand Instagram. Like, that's why I'm not really. That's why I'm not really on there like that.
Yeah.
Like I think people have noticed, like, yo, he be everywhere else, but he don't be on Instagram like that. Because I can't stand Instagram. I'm not on Snapchat. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on none of that because it's just so fake.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
they're living their best life.
Yeah. On Facebook, I spend a lot of time on Facebook because a lot of my family members are there. Mm-hmm. But I can interact with my aunts, uncles, people I ain't seen, and I have a big dog community and following there. So I feel safe on Facebook. On YouTube, I created the community. So I get to know my subscribers. I know people who always comment, other YouTube channels who I'm cool with. So that's mainly where I play at.
Yeah.
YouTube and Facebook. You ain't really gonna see me. If I post something on Instagram, I'll put it up there, boom, real quick. Then I'm off. I might check to see who comment, who might send me a message, but then I'm sliding. It's like in and out. You see Paid in Full when Ace went in the club and he was doing it and he checked out.
Yeah.
And that's me right there. I'm in and out, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Yeah.
Low key.
Yeah.
Or like AZ on Belly, yo, done. I'm about to blow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jojo, you got something?
No, I think I'm good. I really appreciate you being here with us for real. I just learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Man, for sure. But before we wrap it up, man, I want to hit on a couple of more things. I know Batman, you named Batman. His his registered name is Mac.
His registered name is Akbar Force Mac, yeah.
Mm.
You named him after a Prodigy album.
Yeah, Return of the Mac.
I know you're an East Coast cat, so I gotta ask, give me your top 5 MCs of all time.
Man, that's hard to give you top 5, but my favorite rapper is Big L.
Oh,
God rest his dead. That's my favorite MC. I love Big L. And this is in no particular order.
Yeah, for sure.
Right after Big L, it kind of like it don't even matter. But Jay, Nas, Mos Def. I got more than 5, yo. They all up there. Cool G Rap.
Give me your 10 then.
Cool G Rap. I love Luda. I like Luda because he can spit, but also Luda's business sense. I love that. Like that, I love that. Prodigy. I love Cam. I like to dress. Cam stays fly. I love Cam. That's my guy right there. Like people get on Cam, but yo, Cam can't do no wrong in my eyes. I like Cam. I said Cool G Rap already.
Yeah.
Rakim. I got through Chris in there too. KRS. Of course, I gotta put Prodigy in there. Jadakiss is definitely in there.
Yeah.
Can
you do the laugh?
I like Stack Bundles. Yo, these are my guys right here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm an East Coast hip hop, AZ. Like I can go on Raekwon, Ghostface. You know what I'm saying? Like my iTunes is in there. And then I like there's new guys out there who's doing it right now who I like or not new but they still young. J.R. Wright is still doing his thing. Vado's doing his thing. Davies doing his thing. God rest the dead. Fred the Godson was spitting when he was alive.
What about Griselda? You rock with Griselda?
Yeah.
I know they a little bit more fresher, a little bit more newer.
Yeah. As far as like new people, they've been out for a few years, but I kind of like the ASAP Mob. I like what they doing.
Yeah.
I
rock with 12.
I like Bodega Bams. And then I like a lot of Philly rappers too. I like some people out of DC.
Man, you so great East Coasting, man.
Yeah,
I think Luda was the only down south you had up in there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, like I'm true to what because the thing about it is this. On the East Coast, you know how we listen to music? Headphones on the train. This is it right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Down south is about that bass. You ride and lean back. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Like so. Growing up, I was so much into that boom bap. Like just that's just what I grew up on. That's what I love. But I respect everything. Like I like my West Coast MCs, you know, like I like Snoop, of course, Dre. I like Exhibit, Dub C, Mac 10, Warren G, um, you know, God Rest His Dead, Nipsey. Matter of fact, I was on Nipsey a long time ago. Like, a buddy of mine, Max Powers, he's a gym. Max Powers is he's actually from the Midwest, but he went to high school in Boston. He's a buddy of mine. He did a movie with Snoop. He's my son's godfather. His name's Max Powers. He did a movie called Indiana Pill Runner. You can probably look it up. It might be on YouTube actually. Indiana Pill Runner. Um, he did a movie with Snoop, and he was the first one because he lived in LA. He lives in LA now, actually. He was the first one to put me on Nipsey back in the early 2000s before Nipsey got to deal with Cinematic. And he gave me his first tape, and I've been on Nipsey ever since. So I was a very, 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 very big Nipsey Hussle fan early on.
See, I got on Nipsey in 09, so you talking about before that.
Yeah, I was on Nipsey a long, 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 long time ago. Like, I remember when he was moving through different industry circles, you hear talk. And he was, at the time, I think Max was working with Snoop. And he was telling me that Johnny Shipes, I think that's his name, Johnny Shipes, who had signed Nipsey, that just signed this dude who looks like Snoop. That was the thing. He's like, yo, he looked like Snoop. And I was like, man, let me see. He looked like Snoop.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's how I kind of got on him. But yeah. I like West Coast MCs. Dom Kennedy, you know, there's some guys out there who's doing their thing. And there's plenty of people out here. I mean, Atlanta every other month. You know, you can go to McDonald's in Atlanta and you got the dude on fries make beats. The dude on the burger, he's a rapper. Dude at the register, he on a label. You know what I'm saying? Like this is ATL right here, baby. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do music.
Yeah. See, man, it took me to get a little older to appreciate East Coast rap. Like East Coast was always there. I mean, because it, you know, it's New York, and New York, or the East Coast, excuse me, got some of the, you know, the strongest hip hop legends or history. But of course, I'm born and raised in Houston, so
I didn't miss you. I love Houston rap. I love the Houston. I haven't been to Houston yet. Actually, this upcoming weekend, I'm gonna be in Dallas.
Okay.
And I'm driving to Keelam. I think I'm saying it right. Keelam, Texas.
Clean.
Yeah,
that's up north.
I'm coming to Killeen to go film Butler Kennels.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how far it is from Houston, but if I get some time, I'm gonna try to swing by Houston. Be my first time coming here. But the Houston rap scene is dope.
Yeah, I think Dallas, because that's all Dallas area. It's like a 4-hour drive from here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that might be fun.
And it's kind of a different world, man. Dallas and Houston, but just the Texas scene in general. But I grew up with, you know, of course, down south stuff, but our stories and the West Coast kind of was like we were brothers or cousins when it came in the music industry, because you know, the independent grind, and you know, they came down here a whole lot more. So, and even like I attribute a lot of my old history when it comes to music like that, I attribute it to DJ Screw.
Yeah.
Even though he was, you know, screwing the records and some people is too slow, he was putting out stuff that, you know what I mean, you've never heard before. Like what's my guy out of Oakland, man? Richie Rich.
Yeah.
I think it was a song called Lay Your Head. It was like Lay Your Head on My Pillow or something like that. But it was like on one of my favorite DJ Screw tapes. But like just absorbing all that back then, like East Coast was cool, but I would only, you know what I mean? It wasn't attractive because, you know, back then videos was heavy. And I'm like, man, it always look cold in their videos. I don't like cold weather, you know what I mean? So we with that connection with the West Coast and down south, we naturally kind of just like, you know what I mean, ran together in the music industry. Like that whole West Coast, East Coast stuff. You know, I was young and impressionable, and you know, I picked a side. You know, I was West Side. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can never sleep on on Hov. You can never sleep on Biggie. And
Mm-hmm.
Big L, I found out about Big L from back in the what's the MTV, not the regular MTV, the one where they play like underground artists or whatever.
Oh, Yo MTV Raps?
Yeah. He had that, it was a different version because I still have to go to YouTube to find this version of the song, but it is Big L.
Oh, you talk about, Holding It Down. Passed away. Yeah.
And that came on the TV, and I'm like, who is that? And my partner that's a rapper, he smacked his lips. He was like, you don't know who that is? Like, I ain't gonna tell you. Go find out by yourself. Like, he kind of felt played or a little disrespected. I didn't know who Big L was, but like, you know, a lot of
even to this day, there's a lot of people who still don't know who Big L is. But what you said about Houston, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm an East Coast guy by heart, but from every region, I love and respect hip hop. I like what every region brings to the game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like the South made it bounce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, the Midwest made it swing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
West Coast put that lean. Houston put that bass and that slow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yo, I love it. Because everybody can't be the same.
Right.
To me, that's the problem with the game nowadays. You don't know where nobody's from.
Everybody from Atlanta.
You don't know where nobody's from. I love that you can distinguish where somebody was from because their music took you to that place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I put on a St. Lunatics album or I listen to Nelly or something like that, they brought me to St. Louis.
Yeah.
I put on Bone Thugs. They brought me to Cleveland.
Yeah. You travel before you travel.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I knew about, East St. 99. I knew about they different areas. I knew about, the
St. Clair and all that.
Yeah, I knew about, north side of Houston versus south side. I knew, I knew about all that before I even got there.
Yeah.
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 Like I'm driving through, like, oh, Paul Wall was saying something about this right here, say, okay, like I knew, Michael Watts was doing his thing, and then, Screw was doing his thing, and like I knew before I even got there.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. That's what I think is missing from the game right now.
I see that.
That originality, man. People not original no more. It's hot.
Yeah.
And it's too microwavable too, man. Like I'm born in '89, but they make me feel old. And I'm only 31, and I'm like, man, I'm not old, but like when I listen to my cousin and the stuff that he listens to, and it's hard for me to just divulge all that. I'm like, man, it make me want to go listen to some R&B or something like that. Like, this is what rap is now, and they all sound the same.
Yeah.
Granted, like it's some good stuff out there, but like it's hard to know who is who.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's hard.
Yeah.
And my plan is, people ask me, I was trying to put on a new project this year, but COVID happened. Because I got jams that I'm sitting on that I want to put out. However, the beauty thing about Rottweilers and this dog thing, and I'm gonna tell y'all something that I have never said on camera. I'm gonna tell it to you.
Got an exclusive. The
whole reason I never changed the name of my channel to Rottweiler Vlogs or Mike Mongo Rottweilers. It's just Mike Mongo.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's my music channel.
Yeah.
The dog thing is just keeping me out there.
Yeah.
If you peep every video, that's all my music that's in the video.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Story.
Yeah. Mizzle and Mac is the name of my new project. That's why I keep saying it.
Yeah.
So once it finally comes out, you type in Mizzle and Mac, it's going to come up, but all these other videos are going to come up with it.
Right.
Because it's already, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So subconsciously, you getting it, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So, yeah, it's coming, baby. It's coming. I'm working.
Man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man. Y'all definitely go check out the Mike Mongo Music channel on YouTube for sure. Like for any content, whether it be music or Rottweiler or all the above, because I also found out about the whole McDonald's thing from you, bro. Because I guarantee you, I knew something was in the sauce in the soda, man.
Yo, on dogs it is. It is, yo. Like I'm trying to tell you. look, I'm not even big on Sprite, but that
Yeah.
McDonald's Sprite and them sodas be hitting.
It hit
be
differently.
It's
It
different.
Ooh, it's almost like a
It
spice
different.
to it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hitting. Like I can't. It took me a long time to figure it out, but once I did, I was like, that's why they joint tastes different from Burger King.
Yeah.
The Burger King, it always tastes flat and watered down.
Yeah.
And I gotta stop eating fast food anyway. But yo, when McDonald's fries is fresh out the grease,
Ooh. Ooh.
ain't nothing better.
Ooh.
Ain't nothing better when it's fresh out the grease. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, man. I used to be a #1 with a large Coke, man, a Big Mac.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my guilty pleasure right there. But it is what it is.
But yeah, man, we're gonna have to get you down here in the H, man. You know.
Yeah, whenever y'all want me to come, all you gotta do is put the call in, man. I'm there. Like I said, I got Dallas this week. After that, I'm supposed to go back to Chicago. Then there is another YouTuber who I'm in communication with, who I'm trying to do my first video where I'm doing a Rottweiler service dog.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be dope because I've never seen somebody actually talk about a Rottweiler service dog. Like she travels all over the country with her Rottweiler on the plane. So I'm trying to coordinate doing that one with her. Our schedules are kind of not lining up together. And then I got a guy in Philly who I'm gonna be filming, and I got some Rottweiler shows in Florida. So my schedules is I wasn't booked up like that, but I'm starting to get, people, hitting me up, want to come film and stuff.
Well, yeah, man. Hopefully, I'll be the inaugural Houston episode, man. I'm working. I'm working for sure.
Indeed. Yeah, pull a drone up, get the buildings of Houston and all that.
And they don't even necessarily gotta be on a business trip, man. We can filming Rottweilers per se. You just want to come down and I'll show you around or some stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed.
But bro, we gonna go ahead and wrap it up at this point, man. I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you for your time. I appreciate you for your knowledge and coming on and just being a part of this, man, for sure.
Thank you. Anything you need from me, just let me know. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your time. You take care.
You too. Be good.
All right, peace.